Hi there, Janet Fritz here for Galaxy Girl Creations. Welcome to my channel. Welcome to another day of 31 Days of Cutfiles. Today is day 11, and I am using the Take the Photo cut file. This one's really cool because you could stick a photo in the center of it, or you could put your journaling there or your title. I also am using those mirrored hearts I just had up on the screen from Some Assemblage Required. I believe those are currently sold out, but if they're of interest to you, you can go to the link down below and put your name on the let me know when it's back in stock thing, and then you'll be notified when they're back in stock and you can get them. Anyway, I have decided to go ahead and put my photo inside. Actually, one of my photos, the main photo. This is actually my son. He went with us to Idaho in May, and he bought my mom a big planter of flowers, and he is just watering them and getting them set up for her. But he's kind of making a not so, like, I don't want to say a not nice look on his face. It's more of a "what are you doing, Mom" kind of a look, not "don't take my photo." But my title here is going to be "Take the Photo Even When They're Not Smiling," or even if they're not smiling. We'll see what it comes to. And mainly because a lot of times we don't take the photo if they're not smiling, but I feel like it's a good reminder that, life is not always perfect. And so, we don't always have to be smiling in every photo to capture those moments. And sometimes it's kind of fun not to have the smiling photos. Not that it's going to be a photo where they're angry or mad or upset or anything, but sometimes they're funny looks, they're goofy looks. And a lot of times, when my kids were smaller, I would say, you're going in the album no matter whether you smile or not. So it doesn't matter to me if you choose not to smile and you want to look back on these memories, and you have a grumpy look on your face, or a goofy look on your face, or a snide, or whatever kind of look you want to have, like a "don't bother me, Mom" kind of look, then that's totally fine with me. Although he's not saying "don't bother me." It was more of like, I think I surprised him that I was taking the photo from afar, and he's like, what are you taking a photo of? I'm just watering this plant. So I apologize, you don't get to see that photo. He has asked for his face to be covered up now that he's older or whatever, and I think I forgot to cover his photo yesterday, to be honest with you. Although I don't know that he cares about when he was younger, those photos, because he hasn't asked me to take any video down or anything, and I've got a lot of videos on here that have him in it, so I'm not really sure, but I'm trying to respect his wishes and cover his photo for any future photos that I take. So here we go. So he's got my mom and him in the photo. We took my mom out to lunch and to find a new chair for her to have for her task chair for scrapbooking. And then in the other photo, he's helping my dad get his stuff set up, because they now have a little shared not an outbuilding, a shared she shed. I don't know. One half of it my dad uses to do his puzzles in. It's also got a TV set up in there so he can watch some TV. And then the other half has my mom's scrapbooking stuff, so she has a little place to do some scrapbooking. And so it was really nice that my son was able to help us go and get that set up for them, so they have something to do while they're there. Anyway, I am just layering up these papers just in the best way I felt like they would go. I didn't want to just layer them over the top of each other in the same kind of pattern. And so I just kind of, like, I don't know, worked it kind of like a puzzle. That bigger green strip across the bottom, as you saw, it had a piece cut out of it, so I knew I had to cover that up, and so I chose to use that packaging with the plus marks or the X marks on it to cover that. And then this other piece of plaid packaging I thought went really well also, so I decided to bring that in, and I had to cut it to span underneath the two photos. The green piece underneath the right-hand photo was actually leftover mixed media that I just sprayed. It was on my glass mat. I sprayed it with water and picked it up with that piece of white paper and stuck it in my scrap bin, and here it's getting used, and I'm really happy about that. This is kind of a weird green to match. It's kind of like that blue green. Not really teal, but it's a green that leans towards blue. I did consider using these leaves from Some Assemblage Required, but then I decided to go with these hearts instead, so I don't use the leaves. I guess I could have probably layered them up anyway, but I decided not to. I decided just to go with the hearts and keep this one really simple. Let the cut file kind of speak for itself. I did back the cut file with a little bit of vellum so that the merge of the papers underneath is not quite as in your face, and I'm liking how that's looking. I am using this is actually a card base from the card set from 49 & Margaret's Spectrum Sherbert, and I still have quite a few pieces from that collection, so I'm trying to use those up. And I don't send a lot of cards, so I am using the color swatch on the front of the card base to go ahead and use for my background behind my hearts. And those hearts are looking pretty plain right now, but I am going to fill them up with some crystal lacquer, which is very much like glossy accents. It's going to dry clear and glossy, and I'm going to fill those up, and I'm going to add some micro beads and some sequins to it to make those hearts really pop. I am figuring out where I want these little extra pieces to go, just to have a landing spot for my hearts, and then a little place to do a little bit of journaling on that bottom one. And then I'm creating a little fishtail banner end with this piece that's going above the part that says take the photo. I do end up just cutting that off and not using the right hand side of it, just using the left hand side. Now my crystal lacquer was pretty clogged. I haven't used it in quite some time, so I had to get that unclogged, and I do have it in a fine line bottle, but the fine line tip is now completely adhered to the lid. And so yeah, anyway, I was able to go ahead and get some out of it and fill up my hearts. I didn't fill them all the way to the top. They're probably about a third of the way, a quarter to a third of the way full. And then I'm just sprinkling some of these sequins and micro beads into it and letting them just sit there, and letting the crystal lacquer dry and hold them in place. And I think they look really cute. It just brings a little bit of extra sparkle and pizzazz. And I'm not using hardly anything else on this page except for paper, you guys. Paper and packaging. I did use some ink on the title of Take the Photo. I believe that was Catherine Pooler ink in, I want to say stone blue. It was either stone blue or cove blue. I will look that up. I'll put a link down below for you so that you can check that out if that's of interest to you. I also did ink up the outside of the papers with some Catherine Pooler Juniper Mist, which is a navy blue, and that's one of my favorite colors of hers. And so I got that on there just to make everything kind of pop. And then I am going to use some of these little tiny thickers. These are, I think, from Paige Evans, one of her older collections. I do think they're still available. I believe Joann's has them. I don't know who else has them, but they're wonderful because they are so small and they come with so many different, or so many of each letter, that makes it really useful. Oh, I think my title is actually Take the Photo Even If It's Not Perfect. That is what it is. So I didn't use the if they're not smiling because I didn't want to allude to the fact that he might be angry or something, because he's definitely not angry in the photo. But I decided to use the word perfect because I think a lot of times we do look for perfect photos, and sometimes the candids are not perfect, but they are the best photo to use to tell the story. And so that is definitely another good option. You know, use it when it's not perfect. Use it if they're not smiling. Either way, you know, use the photo, because a story told is a story in your album and something that will be cherished down the road, at least in my opinion. That's it, you guys. Thanks so much for watching. Go check out what MK's got on her channel today with regard to this cut file. And I should be doing a live today to share this cut file in a much larger size. So that is it. Thank you again for watching. I will see you guys soon. Hit the thumbs up if you enjoyed this one, and don't forget to subscribe if you're not already subscribed to my channel. You can hit the bell for notifications so that you know when I post a new video, which this month is daily. See you soon. Bye-bye.